The Miami Heat finished with a record of 53-29 and was the first seed in the Eastern Conference, and they were just one shot away from beating the Boston Celtics in the conference finals to advance to the finals. As Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry age, the championship window is getting smaller and smaller. However, they do have some young pieces like Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. So the Heat need to find a way to win a championship beyond the Big Three era. They've come close many times. They're in the NBA Finals in 2020, and now they were only one shot away for the 2022 NBA Finals. Now, in my opinion, the biggest downfall this year was their ability to create half-court offense outside of Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler, as they ranked 20th in points per game at 109 a game. That really needs to improve because their defense is absolutely outstanding. However, I think they need to sacrifice some of the defense to get some shot creating guards and shot creating wings to really bolster this team and to push them over the top so they can win that NBA Finals. So I've come up with 4 trades the Miami Heat need to make in order to improve their roster. And now, before I get into the 4 trades, can you help me out and hit that sub button? As you can see, this number is very, very bad. I need that ratio to be more even on that part. Appreciate it. All right, so the first trade I have in this video is the Utah Jazz. Now, Utah will be sending over Jordan Clarkson and Rudy Gay in exchange for Duncan Robinson and Yurt7. I don't know his first name. I completely forget. However, I think this helps both teams here. Now, looking at the Utah side first, they're getting Duncan Robinson, who right now is looking like a bad contract because he can't play defense and all he can do is really shoot threes. And if he's not hitting his threes, which he hasn't been, then that's an issue because he's pretty much unplayable and he's making like 15 mil over the next 4 years. Then Yurt7 has showed a lot of potential as a young center. I don't think the hype is all there for him, but I do think he can be a good rotational player for many years to come. And then for the Miami Heat side, they're getting Jordan Clarkson and Rudy Gay. Now, they need a lot of shot creation, so Jordan Clarkson is that guy. He did have a down year this year, but I feel like the whole Utah everything in Utah was very lackluster, and I think people didn't really get along, and it was just kind of like a bonfire towards the end of the year. So I think that played a part in a lot of their production. But just a year ago, Jordan Clarkson won 6th Man of the Year, so I think he can go back to that. If they decide to move Tyler Hero to the starting lineup, then Clarkson can be that new 6th man for them. Maybe not efficient as Tyler Hero, but he's definitely a good shot creator and playmaker for the Utah team right now. And then Rudy Gay, he's kind of in here for contract reasons. I wouldn't call him a bad contract because he is making $6 million over the next 2 years. However, is he worth it? I really don't know. I think he's kind of like a minimum player at this point. But it'd be another nice shot-making wing for the Miami Heat as they try to improve the offensive rating. The next trade I have here is the Orlando Magic. So talk about the Miami Heat side. They're getting Terrence Ross, and Orlando Magic is getting Duncan Robinson and Yurt7. So for the Miami Heat side, you have Terrence Ross going over there who can go get you a bucket. I feel like every season this guy puts up damn near 50 points in one game just to prove that he can still score the ball. He's not really athletic Terrence Ross that we had in Toronto. However, he's still an outstanding 3-point shooter, and he has the tools to be a good defender. And I think if you put him in that Miami Heat system, he will excel as a defender, as they all do. And then in terms of the Orlando Magic, they're getting Duncan Robinson and Yurt7. It's really, I would say, a Duncan Robinson, Terrence Ross swap because they're trading for age. Duncan Robinson's young, Terrence Ross is more of a vet. But since Duncan Robinson's contract isn't really friendly right now, that's why I have Yurt7 going over there kind of make up for it, because the Magic would have to pay him for 4 years. And if it's not worth that money at all in those 4 years, it's technically a bad contract for him. So I'm giving the Orlando Magic Yurt7 to kind of make up for that lackluster contract. And that's pretty much this trade here. Now, moving on to the third trade. Now, this is probably the most controversial of the video. So, the Miami Heat are going to get Miles Turner in exchange. The Indiana Pacers are going to get Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, and Yurt7. So, hear me out on this one. So, I'm a believer that Bam Adebayo can be an MVP candidate. I know it sounds insane because he kind of borders line all-star every year. So, me making that jump to MVP is kind of insane. But I just don't think he gets the ball enough. I think he could be a 25-point per game scorer. He's got the size, got the build, he's got the shooting ability. I think he can shoot threes, but Spoelstra's never really played through his center, so he's not going to change for Bam Adebayo. So I think making this trade for Miles Turner, you start Turner at the center, and then you put Bam at the 4 and put him on the wing to help him really get in more of a scoring position. And you don't really lose much shooting here because Miles Turner can step out and shoot the 3. So if Bam doesn't end up being a good 3-point shooter for them next season, which I think he could be. You have Turner who can stretch out and hit that three perfectly fine. And their defense also doesn't lack here because Turner's a great shot blocker, great interior defender, and Bam Adebayo can pretty much defend 1 through 5. So I think playing those two guys together will just make an outstanding defense and really open up Bam Adebayo's offense for him to succeed and get the numbers he can get, in my opinion. So that is why I think this trade could be very important for them and why some people might think I'm crazy for doing it. But I think this trade could very well put the Miami Heat over the top and put Bam Adebayo as an MVP candidate. So after saying all that for the Miami Heat, let's go to the Indiana Pacers side. They're getting Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, and Yurt 7. Miami might have to throw in a second-round pick here. The Pacers have been trying to trade Miles Turner for like a season, I feel like, and haven't got anywhere. So Duncan Robinson is in all these trades. He's in here. Gabe Vincent has showed a lot of promise as a good young point guard for the Miami Heat. So it's really Miles Turner, Gabe Vincent, kind of those are the two main pieces. And then you have Yurt 7 in there to make up a Duncan Robinson contract. And the Pacers aren't planning on winning anytime soon, so I don't think Robinson's contract would be a big deal. And playing with Tyrese Haliburton and Buddy Hield, they're going to have some shooters if they put Duncan Robinson out there and he starts hitting his shots. So I think this is a good trade for both sides here. Yeah, I think this could be a very move that the Miami Heat should consider making to open up Bam Adebayo. So for the final trade of the video, it's probably the most boring trade, but I think it could be a very underrated one that both teams could make. So you have Cam Thomas from the Nets going to the Miami, and then you have Yurt 7 from the Heat going to the Brooklyn Nets. And now for the Heat side, they're getting a young shot-creating guard in Cam Thomas, who can kind of mold into like a Jordan Clarkson role when he won Sixth Man of the Year. I think Thomas can be that type of player. Just a good shot maker. You need a bucket, he'll go get you one. But he is still young, so I don't know if you're the Miami Heat, you want to rely on him as the only shot creator outside of Tyler Hill and Jimmy Butler, kind of like your third shot creator. But, he did show a lot of promise this year, and I think, could be a good six-man eventually in this league. It just depends if the Heat want to pull the trigger on him now or maybe look for a more established shot creator, this summer. And then the Nets need size. Their big man depth is terrible. The big man depth average age is probably like 40. So having a young guy in there like Yurt 7, be able to shoot the three, be able to pass the ball, be able to, just kind of do it all as a young player, is very, very intriguing for them. And they won't be missing Cam Thomas because they have Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Seth Curry. They have plenty of shot makers on the team. They just need more size on that team. So I think this is a very underrated trade, but it's kind of boring at the same time. I mean, it's two role players being traded for each other. Nothing new there. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to watch these two videos up here.